Welcome to this installment of the Brain and Body Bookshelf. I'm your host, Samantha Salmon, certified integrative nutrition coach and brain health licensed trainer. And today we are talking about to agave or not to agave. There seems to be a huge disagreement right now going on, or a little bit of confusion. And so I just want to basically set your minds at ease on the confusion. If you need citations, if you need sources, I will provide that today. That is the whole point of the Brain and Body Bookshelf. The Brain and Body Bookshelf is a series that I actually started on Instagram Live to do as like a recurring show on Instagram Live, but Instagram Live was starting to give me issues. And now I see I can actually stream live into Instagram, which I may start next week to see. I got to figure out the tech, and I'm also working on this New Year meal prep program. So since I mentioned it, let me just let you know a little bit about it. It is the Raw Food Meal Planners 21-day New Year meal prep challenge. We have like a pregame going on October 30th. And so I'm looking to get folks signed up before October 30th. So you can prepare a little bit mentally and physically for this challenge. Also, what are we doing in the 21-day meal prep challenge? Well, basically, during the challenge, we have each day a new recipe to play around with in the kitchen. We go from very simple to a little bit more complex. So it's for folks at any stage of the game on your raw food game, right? If you're new to raw foods, if you're more advanced, folks who say, I can't do raw in the winter, we have recipes for you, because I'm always thinking about you, okay? And we're just having fun in the kitchen, actually getting involved, because the quickest way to go raw is to actually go raw. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually get in the kitchen and make the stuff, okay? And experiment with things. The faster you experiment with all the things, the faster you'll get to find out what can work for you, what you like, what you don't like, what you have time for, what you don't have time for, that type of thing, right? So you could come up with let's say your go-to deck of recipes that you can, utilize when times get busy in your life, and then some things you can play around with on the weekend when you have more time, right? So we dig into all of that. We have daily recipes, some really cool recipes, comes with a recipe book, and depending on the plan, so there's different levels to this, right? So if you sign up for the premium plan, you get shopping lists, you get nutrition guides. It comes with a master class and some bonus recipes. So you log into the membership area and you get the recipes there, the shopping lists. You get bonus recipes, okay? You get a raw vegan recipes guide called Raw in a Rush. This is specifically vegan recipes for a busy lifestyle. I mean, we left no stone unturned on this guide, okay? So, I couldn't imagine. You may have questions after, but really this is it covers everything. Then we have a Raw for Beginners guide, which again covers everything. If you're new to raw food, everything you could want to know. It doesn't cover the same thing as my 30-day raw vegan challenge, right? Which goes into some different things, like how to lose weight, how to gain weight on raw, like if you're raising kids on raw, what's doable for them at their different, ages and stages, that type of thing. This doesn't cover that, but this covers you and your own personal journey on raw foods. And then I have a master class, how to stay on a high raw vegan diet, with resources mentioned for consistency. That's at the premium plan. Then for the VIPs, we have a weekly live Q&A session that's running all through the month of January, so that everybody, regardless of when you sign up, you will have an opportunity for at least 3 live Q&A sessions. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scheduled in here. So if you sign up a little late, no worries, because we have all of them scheduled from January 2nd, which I will be actually on holiday with my family, but I will make sure to show up for y'all, okay, through January 30th. We have live Q&A sessions. And then also for the VIPs, you get to schedule a consultation for a personalized meal plan. So you could get a raw vegan meal plan that can work for you based on the foods that you like, looking at what your health goals are, that type of thing. So it's a meal plan specifically for you. And just to give you an example of what this can do, right? So I'm just going to use my mom as an example because, I when I work with clients, I work in a confidential space. So typically when I talk about things, I like to keep them as vague as possible, so I'm not, putting anybody on blast. But my mom, she's going to be okay with it. Because she's actually not a client. She's just my mom. So with my mom, right? So she has been dealing with some issues of arthritis in her hand that she's looking to heal. And so going 100% raw with the intention to heal this arthritis, right? Which is very specific. Knowing your why for going raw is very important. This plays a role into being consistent, right? Because not everybody has to be 100% raw, but conversation for another day. Okay. So with her, and then also with her, she did not want to lose any weight. She was comfortable. So, each of us, according to the medical charts, we have, and I'm just looking it up right now to remind myself where she is. Yeah. So she's 5'6", and at the top of her healthy weight range is 154. Before she started on her raw journey, she was 151, and within a month's time, actually shorter than that, but she's been able to maintain it, she lost 11 pounds, so she got down to 140. In the beginning, she was a little concerned because she did not want to drop beyond 150. So I put a meal plan together for her to stay at 150. And with some tips on lifestyle things to do to stay at 150, right? But because she has the appetite, her appetite is what it is. And then she's eating these raw foods, which has kind of changed her appetite a little bit. I think it's changed her appetite a little bit. And so with that, this is how we're working with the body, because there are things that work on paper. Okay, this is what you need to do. But then when you try to do it in real life, is it working for you, right? And that's what we do in coaching. But what I'm offering here at this VIP level is we have a consultation between ourselves, one-on-one. And you let me know. I do a whole health history. You let me know what's going on, your health goals, everything. I put the meal plan together based to help you get to your goal. And then when we have our live Q&A sessions, we can discuss, how things have been going and, making sure that you are progressing the way you want to progress, right? And so we have all that good stuff in the New Year meal prep challenge. I'm super excited about it because folks are just like, if raw foods is not part of your regular right now, this is the best opportunity to just dive in there, get in the kitchen, be a part of community, and have fun on this journey. This journey is so much fun, okay? There's no reason to not have fun on this journey because it's nothing but fun, right? It's a whole exploration of a variety of different foods. You're gonna, support the diversity of your gut microbiome because you're going to be learning about some new foods, learning new ways to prepare food so that it's cleaner, right? And what a great way to start the year. So that's what the New Year Meal Prep Program is about. And one of the things that I do talk about every time that I'm putting recipes together, I work with people, we're talking about sweeteners, and we do talk about agave in some of these resources and why this is not recommended by myself. All right. And we're going to dive into that. So for folks who are new to the Brain and Body Bookshelf, like I said, I started this series on Instagram, was having some tech issues, but now I see that there's a way that I could stream live without any tech issues on Instagram. So we'll try that next week. But the Brain and Body Bookshelf is a series dedicated to exploring fascinating nutrition information to support the health of your brain and body overall. In each episode, we'll review and discuss a book that explores topics such as neuroscience, psychology, health, fitness, and more. And so join us as we delve into the latest research and insights on how our brains and bodies work and how we can optimize our physical and mental health for a happier, more fulfilling life, because that is what it's all about, right? We want fulfillment, we want contentment, we want joy. And so today I want to point our eyes to the book, The Alzheimer Solution, a breakthrough program to prevent and reverse the symptoms of cognitive decline at every age by the Schurzheis. And I will have a link for this in the description below. And I want to point you to the chapter of their book. This is where we're going to end the conversation on should we or should we not agave. I want to point you to their book, their chapter on nutrition, okay? In there, they state they have a section, unhealthy sources of carbs. They list all refined sugar. Yes, okay. Fruit juices. All right. That's what they say. Okay. Natural sugars. Now, okay, the fruit juices too. I want to kind of divert a little bit if I can. Fruit juices. It says fruit juices. Juices are pure sugar without the fiber of the whole fruit. If you are buying cooked pasteurized juice in the store, correct, I agree. If you are making fresh pressed juice at home, I absolutely don't agree. This is helping people reverse cancer. And so it's you're getting a boost of nutrition. You cannot compare fresh pressed juice to cooked juice in the store. The cooked juice has no nutrient value and is just pure sugar. Okay, so I agree with that. I think that there's not enough differentiation being made, and that's causing people to get really confused about juice. When we talk about juice, not everybody's talking about the same juice, okay? So maybe we should be calling it plant water, like Dr. Aris was talking about, like how he only, since he started this raw journey, he only gets his water from fruits, right? Or, coconuts, for example, is his main source of water, but he's also getting water from fruit. And this is how we eat our water on a raw food diet, right? But sometimes you want to drink, right? Sometimes you had enough fiber. There's only so much fiber the stomach can take, but you're thirsty. And the water from the fruits and vegetables are structured. They're living water. They actually hydrate the cells. So you're less inclined to feel thirsty because you're actually getting properly, fully hydrated. So anyway, I think I did a whole episode on water like years ago that you can dig back into the archives to find them. It may or may not be on YouTube, but it's definitely on my website on the blog. I added on my blog a search function, and let me see. All right, so this is actually something I wanted to talk to you about later, but let me just go to the main page of the website. So you're on the main page of the website. You can scroll down. I just added here a search here. So if you're looking for water, type water, hit enter. And spilling the tea on water is where I started talking about it. That was back in 2018. And I explain water, the different types of water, and like how all water is not the same, right? And so anytime you're on a blog too, you can search. There's a search bar on here. Let's say you want to know about agave, which you'll notice some of my old meal plans have, because I have a whole year's worth of free meal plans, raw and not so raw, or like high raw basically. And you'll notice there's agave here. I was recommending maple syrup instead of agave based off of the information I had available to me at that time, that maple syrup was healthier. But we're going to see the Schurzheis have brought forth some new information. And so I'm always, we're in continuous study, right? Nutrition is always evolving. We're in continuous study. I just want to show you guys the free meal plan. So if you go to more free meal plans, you'll see I like it raw. That's 100% raw. I don't like it that raw. That's high raw. So anyway, let me get back to our scheduled programming here. Okay. So the Shirzais, they say in their book that, they say in their book in the nutrition chapter regarding natural sugars, they say agave, honey, and maple syrup may have a lower glycemic index than refined sugar, but the spike in glucose is similar in the brain. If our patients absolutely need a sweetener in their diets, we recommend stevia or erythritol, which don't cause the same energy surge that burns out the brain over time. Then if you go on, they recommend using dates, right? Whole dates or even granulated date sugar. And from this information, I feel like they even said date syrup at one point, but I'm not finding it now. But it was this book, right? So if you need a citation, like who is saying this and why are they saying this? This is why. The Shirzais are saying it. And you can experiment with yourself in terms of how you feel mentally when you use these things, right? And of course, you're not using them alone. You're also using them with other things. And even if it's the combination. So like for me, for example, these sweeteners, they tend for me to be used in oatmeal or like baked goods, like even raw vegan baked goods. I just made a raw vegan brownie from the 21-day meal prep challenge. And I used a ton of dates in there. I used date syrup in there because that's like my main, right? And so this is where the stuff is used, right? In the baked goods, or if you're doing something like oatmeal. Now, let's say oatmeal, for example. You're eating this with oatmeal. You don't know if it's the oatmeal that's making your brain feel like you're in a fog or you're not able to focus on your work, or if it's the sweetener, because the two go together. And from my perspective, like when I work with people, I'm looking for the fastest way to get them to go. And so if this is contributing a problem, it could be this or it could be this. But what I do, just think for yourself. Like if you're the person having oatmeal and you need the agave to go in the oatmeal, right? And you're like, oh man, I got to give up agave because, because I want to protect my brain, which is a very smart choice. Okay. Very smart choice. But then how do I do oatmeal? Well, you could try oatmeal with date syrup and see how you feel, if you feel any better. And if you don't, you need to cut out the oatmeal, right? Because this is what this is telling me. This is telling me that what the Shirzais is telling me is that you can make a healthier choice removing agave, honey, maple syrup. If you're still having issues, there's something else you need to look at, right? And that's how I make the decisions. And in terms of myself, how I'm navigating my nutrition and how I support my clients, because some of these things are working together. It's kind of like fries and ketchup. Would you need ketchup if you weren't eating fries? Probably not, because of the other meals you're eating. So it's like, does it even matter? Like, you know what I'm saying? Does it even matter? Because these things go together and you don't need either one if you're not doing the other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just get rid of it. But like for me personally, like I'm not like to make the brownies, I do use date syrup because I needed a binder. I use dates and I use date syrup, and it's quite sweet. Some people like it that sweet. I think for me next time I'm going to do, so this is for the challenge, and what I want for the challenge is for people to do the challenge and like learn how to make raw food cuisine, see what they like, see what they don't like, and make adjustments. That's what I do. So like with the brownie, it was super sweet. I shared it in my house, folks liked it. Folks really liked the sweet, me in particular, I could go less sweet and also go in the route of low FODMAP. I want to try a low FODMAP version of a raw vegan brownie, which would mean no dates. So pray for me. I will be experimenting with that. But, because I find there's value in having these sweet treats. I had to run out early in the morning yesterday, and I was able to have that for breakfast, because this is how I used to eat back in the day when I had the store, and I dropped all the way down to 115, which is still within my healthy weight range. I was on the high end of raw, like 99%. And I would do that because I was busy, I needed fast food, and that's basically what we provided in the store, was fast, healthy food, all raw, vegan, all organic, right? And so I would have, sometimes I would have an apple pie for breakfast because it had the protein, it had the fat, it had the sweet, it got me going, and I could do my thing. Sometimes I would have a green juice, it was very random. It would, depending on the day, listen to how my body feel. Everything is healthy, so what does it matter, And I thrived. And so having this dessert really helped me in the morning because I needed to eat something quick and get out. And I had something nice and sweet to have after dinner yesterday. So it was really helpful. But in terms of this idea, agave or not agave, hopefully I cleared that up for you. And also I want to point you to another great resource, since this is the Brain and Body Bookshelf. I want to show you my latest blog post that I released here called Top Brain Health Reads of 2023, where I list out the books that my peers and I have been reading this year around brain health that have been really impactful to us. And so I highly encourage you, look into this if you really enjoy books, if you enjoy learning about the brain health. There's some great books in here. Some of them I haven't read, but some of them I have. And just based off of, the titles, I know it's going to be a great, great reading year for us in 2024 because I need to get caught up myself. I want to highlight the ones that I've read. Atomic Habits, of course, this has helped a lot of people. I know a lot of my entrepreneurial friends have read this book, and it's been very helpful for them. Mindset by Carol Dweck. This book is very long, very long, but she's basically outlining the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, which is very good for people to know that you want to have the right mindset for success in any area of your life. Number 12, the myth of normal. So this, I just kind of put it in somewhat alpha order, but not necessarily by the best to the worst, right? Because it's what my peers and I have been reading. So who knows, right? Which the best or the worst. But it's a combination of all these different perspectives around brain health and different things we should be looking at, which is interesting. This one, The Myth of Normal by my favorite person, Dr. Gabor Mate. This book is so good. I will have an episode around, at least one, around this book. I think I probably did one already, but this book is so good. Everybody should read it. It is really thick, but it's worth the read. Because, I read a lot of books from different people of different perspectives, and it's always interesting to me to see how people are actually converging in on the same concept from different angles. And it's like, wow, this look what's going on. And the part that I want to highlight here that he's talking about, a toxic culture. And there are a lot of authors that are pointing to this. And I find, like, with my clients and even my personal experience, the journey is extracting yourself from the toxic culture so that you can be healthy. It's putting yourself above the status quo. That's the journey we're on when we start to embark on a high raw journey for health and well-being, right? That's what we're looking at. And anyway, this whole list is, I already know that the next one I want to read, there's so many, but breath, because breath, deep breathing exercises, meditation, that stuff is like so key to really disengaging from, this, like, our nervous systems being connected to this whole toxic culture, right? We're just in chronic stress all the time, and the breath is going to be our savior, I feel like, to kind of extract ourselves from that. Pause. There's so many instances going on going on now that we see even in the news, where it's like if this person had paused, just paused, they could give their prefrontal cortex time to make the right decision so they wouldn't end up in these bad situations, right? Coming to mind right now is Jonathan Majors. He basically stepped into a Rihanna Chris Brown situation, and this is where the prefrontal cortex comes in hand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely need to get on my email list so you can get invited to one of my upcoming webinars where we talk about brain health. We talk about the different parts of the brain, what they're doing, why we need to help them, why we need to support the brain so it can support us, right? So we can avoid these types of situations. And how do you do that? Well, just head on over. I'm going to show you again. Head on over to rawfoodmealplanner.com and you can download the healthy digestion recipe book. Download the recipes here, and you'll get on my email list that way, and whatever other freebies you've probably found in any of my past episodes. But that's the easiest way, and that's ground zero for everything. Like, you need to have a healthy gut to have a healthy brain, so this is a great starting point. Anyway, folks, it has been lovely. I believe I've talked about everything I want to talk about, and there will be links in the description to this video. So thank you so much for sharing this time with me, and have a blessed day.